Seattle, a city with world-renowned companies like Microsoft, Amazon, and Starbucks, is also the home of Foster School of Business at University of Washington. With strong ties to local companies such as these, Foster is a top business school that is worth considering. There are over 93,000 Foster graduates around the world. Some notable alumni include the CEO of Alaska Airlines, William Ayr, and the first African-American individual to serve as governor of the Federal Reserve System, Andrew Brimmer. So, how do you tackle your essays for Foster? Foster has 2 required essays and 2 optional essays. Let's take a look at the first required essay. The prompt is Post-MBA Plans, 750 words maximum. Tell us your ideas about what lies ahead in your career. What are the gaps or deficiencies currently preventing you from pursuing these potential career paths? How do you plan to use your time in the Foster MBA program to fill these gaps and advance your career? This essay prompt essentially asks for a personal statement of your career goals, how an MBA can help you achieve these goals, and why Foster. For an in-depth look at personal statements, I actually recommend checking out On Track by mbaMission, our comprehensive asynchronous MBA admissions course. On Track includes dozens of modules covering every piece of the application process, from post-MBA goals to school selection to crafting your resume and essays, and much more. In our personal statement module, we examine the key components of these essays, and I walk you through a series of strong and not so strong personal statement examples, providing detailed analysis of each one. It's incredibly thorough and dynamic. I recommend checking it out. Now, back to our Foster essay. Once you flesh out your career goals and the gaps in your skill set that an MBA can help you fill, be sure to have specific reasons for why Foster is the best school to help you reach your future career goals. When I say specific reasons, think of what Foster resources are aligned with your goals. To give an example, let's say your future goal is to start a company. Foster has a business plan practicum course where you can learn how to start a business as well as apply real-world concepts to business formation. There's also the Dempsey Startup Competition that you could participate in with your team and that could benefit that personal goal. The key is to give specific examples so that you show that you understand why Foster is a good fit for you, that you're not just filling in the blanks or talking in generalities. Let's move to the second required essay. The prompt is Personal Resilience, 500 words maximum. Resilience is one of the most important values of a successful Foster student. Tell us about what resilience means to you and share some of the ways that you have demonstrated resilience in overcoming personal or professional challenges. How do you anticipate showing resilience during your time as an MBA candidate? When you think of your examples, you'll want to find ones that really show perseverance when things did not go your way the first time. You want to show how you reassessed the situation, how you reflected on your limitations and strengths, and that you were flexible enough to pivot as needed, taking another route to achieve your goal. And since Foster mentions personal or professional challenges in the prompt, you're free to use either personal or professional examples or both. Also, don't forget to share with the admissions committee your personal viewpoint of how you define resilience. What qualities do you consider to constitute resilience? If you were inspired by a person in your life who embodies the qualities you define as resilience, you could even share that in your essay. It just has to be sincere and grounded in actual experience in the professional or personal environment. As for how you could show resilience during your time at Foster, the admissions committee wants to see that you truly understand what it takes to be successful at a top program. They're also looking for self-awareness. Therefore, don't be afraid to share candid concerns about what potential challenges you think you might face at business school. The key here is to address how you plan to tackle them. While the admissions committee is not looking for a 10-point plan, they would like to be reassured. For example, let's say that you come from a non-business background. How do you plan to get yourself ready for the rigorous academic curriculum at Foster? Perhaps you could plan on taking pre-MBA courses to shore up your quantitative skills. Let's now turn our attention to the 2 optional essays. The first optional essay is optional essay. Include this essay if you have additional information you believe would be helpful to the admissions committee in considering your application. This is your opportunity to address any questions or concerns the admissions committee may have about your candidacy. For example, do you have a low undergraduate GPA or a low GMAT or GRE score that you feel does not fully reflect your academic capabilities? You could also explain any employment gaps, your choice of recommenders, as well as a legal or disciplinary incident. Because this prompt does not say that it's strictly for explaining concerns in your application, you could also share other stories or information, but do use your discretion in deciding how to use this space. Do not just repeat stories or information that's already covered elsewhere in your application, just because you feel you must fill the space. In effect, what I'm saying is, If there's something that is absolutely critical for the admissions committee to know at this point, and there's no other place for them to learn about it, you can use the optional essay. As for the second optional essay, the prompt is optional diversity, equity, and inclusion essay, 500 words maximum. Foster School of Business, we embrace diversity as one of the foundations of both successful business strategy and a world-class educational experience. We share the university's dedication to promoting the understanding and appreciation of human differences and the constructive expression of ideas. We welcome you to share some of the ways you've practiced inclusion, promoted equity, or supported the advancement of underrepresented groups. Note that Foster also specifies that if you'd like to be considered for the Ramba Fellowship or Forte Fellowship, you may indicate your qualifications and interests in these scholarships through the optional diversity, equity, and inclusion essays. This essay, although optional, is one we encourage you to write. Think of this as an opportunity to share more of yourself so the admissions committee can get to know you better. In this essay, the admissions committee wants to know how you've been inclusive, either at work or in your personal life or in your community world. Or you could show how you have supported others, whether it's through speaking up for them or showing up for them as an ally. You'll want to describe your actual behaviors and actions so as to illustrate how you've exemplified these values of diversity, equity, and inclusion. Again, the key, not just talking about diversity, equity, and inclusion, but sharing clear examples, sharing a narrative about how you manifest these values. So, there you have the Foster application essays. As a group, these essays allow the admissions committee to get to know you, your goals, your strengths, and your values. Best of luck with your essays, and stay tuned for a sneak peek from On Track, our on-demand MBA admissions course, in which I discuss how to write powerful essay openings, coming up next.